from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News broadcast. We are coming to you live from the National News Studio. I'm Bilanjali Ananda.
I'm Niket Karunaratne, and we'll start off with the headlines as usual.
The Water Supply and Drainage Board requests the general public to consume water with care. Many districts receive rainfall after several months. 5,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer to be exported monthly. An engineer who won the challenge of the foreign market. A driver's license will be made available for people with hearing disabilities. The canteen 175 meters under the earth. Artillery bullets to Ukraine from the European Union.
On to those and other stories in detail now. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says obstructions have been caused to the supply of drinking water due to the dry weather conditions. The board requests the general public to use water sparingly. Deputy General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Ajit Pereira, said that they are confronting the problem of depletion of water level in the Kalani River and the mixing of seawater into fresh water. He added that in order to prevent this happening, they are building an obstruction for the intrusion of salt water into the water supply. He requested the general public to use the water with care. Placing of sandbags in the vicinity of the Abatale water pumping station to prevent the mixing of seawater to the waters of the Kalani River has taken place today.
Now, several districts affected by the drought have received rainfall. The national television correspondent says thunder showers have lashed on Radhapura, ending months of a drought period last evening. The Disaster Management Centre says more than 100 houses were damaged in Vahalkada due to strong winds that occurred with heavy rainfall. The affected villages were Kapitigolava, Bogas Junction, D7 and 5 new villages. Bhagavan Talava has received rainfall for over half an hour last evening. Our correspondent says as a result, water capacity in the Kesalgamu Oya, which supplies water to the Kasarvik reservoir, has gone up. A drought period of around 3 months in the Polonnaru district has ended with rainfall in Hinguragoda and Minnerya last night. However, the existing dry weather condition continues to bring down the water level in the Kalani River. The sceneries provide how sand dunes have surfaced in several locations.
A program to enhance the production at the Ulugahavatta Organic and Solid Fertilizer Centre in Valimada has commenced yesterday. The centre has taken measures to export 5,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer on a monthly basis. Most of the produce at the processing centre is being exported for a cultivation project in Dubai. Minister Mahinda Amravira has presided over the production enhancement activities. A program to provide urea fertilizer free of charge to 228,611 farmer families in the Kurunegala, Trincomalee and Batticaloa districts has commenced. The project got underway with the handing over of 8,360 metric tons of fertilizer at the Chavakacheri Agrarian Services Centre. Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideaki, and the governor of the Northern Province, PSM Charles, also took part in the event. The fertilizer is to be distributed from 150 agrarian centres island-wide. Farmer J.M. Bandara of Atkandavaka, Uvaparanagama, is maintaining a successful grape cultivation in an environment not very conducive for grapes. Minister Mahinda Amravira, who has inspected the cultivation recently, said programs will be implemented to propagate grape farming with the assistance of the Ministry of Agriculture, utilising the knowledge of this farmer in Uvaparanagama. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera has visited Valimada area yesterday to inspect the harvesting of local potatoes. The farmers said on this occasion that they are not receiving a proper price for their produce due to imported potatoes.
The State Minister of Finance, Dr. Ranjit Siambala said at a media briefing in Ranwala that a progress review meeting regarding the IMF debt is scheduled to be conducted next month. The State Minister said that an evaluation was conducted with the IMF regarding the program commenced by the government. He further said that the Central Bank, the Ministry of Finance, including the Minister and the President, will take part in the program scheduled to be conducted between 11th and the 19th next month. The State Minister also said that they have successfully fulfilled all 9 conditions agreed with the IMF. There were around 40 other agreements and the government fulfilled 80% of them. The State Minister explained that $350 million is expected in the second tranche. He said that according to his belief, Sri Lanka will receive this fund after the review in September. State Minister Shahan Senasinghe said Sri Lanka greatly appreciates India's support for local economic growth. He has made these remarks at a media briefing upon participating in Invest Sri Lanka, India, Chennai and Mumbai Forum in Mumbai City. The State Minister has stressed that India and other countries have extended support for the Sri Lanka's economic stabilization program by further extending investment facilities.
Ganidhu Ishara is a successful exporter who won a bronze medal at a presidential awards ceremony for new exporters of 2021-2022. Formerly an engineer by profession, Ishara has exported necessary kitchen items to 13 cities in 8 countries. He entered the export business full-time in 2017, which was commenced by his father. At the initial period, he was exporting kitul and value-added sesame products. At present, Ganidhu Ishara exports 20 to 60 items. He currently exports 6 to 8 containers of clay products, food items and spices monthly. He has been able to generate around 200 direct and indirect employment opportunities. It was the Export Development Board that has extended support for Ganidhu to win the export field.
The Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that for the first time after the independence, people with hearing defects will be accorded the opportunity to drive a vehicle with a legal license. He has made these observations participating in a special mobile service of the Department of the Commissioner of Motor Traffic commenced in Kurunegala today. Cabinet has already granted approval for the long-standing request of those with hearing impairment to have a driving license. The mobile service has issued driving licenses as well as to take part in the written tests for driver's licenses, to transfer ownership of vehicles and other services connected to the Transport Medical Institute. The 2-day mobile service being conducted at the John Kothalawala College premises in Kurunegala also provides services relating to bank insurance and leasing. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that in developed countries, unlike in Sri Lanka, have a special consideration for people with special needs. International level driver's licenses are being given to disabled persons. The minister further said that today was a historical day when those who sat for an examination have received the driver's license the day right after. Those with disabilities riding motorcycles will be identified by a logo pasted on the back of the rider's helmet. Similar logos will be pasted in the back and front of motor cars driven by drivers with disabilities. State Minister of Transport Lasantha Alagiyawana and several other ministers were also present.
The Sri Lankan embassy in Turkey says that the condition of one of the Sri Lankans injured in a bus accident in Turkey continues to remain serious. 5 of the injured are still undergoing treatment in hospitals. A group of Sri Lankan nationals engaged in a construction project at the international airport in Istanbul, Turkey, met with an accident last Wednesday. A bus carrying 40 passengers, including 29 Sri Lankans, was reported to have gone down a slope and turned to a side. The cause of the accident has not yet been determined. 20 of the passengers with minor injuries were discharged from the hospital yesterday. 9 persons were admitted for residential treatment. According to a representative of the Sri Lankan embassy in Ankara city, one of the seriously injured passengers still receiving treatment at the intensive care unit. The Turkish authorities are reported to be taking steps for the well-being of the affected Sri Lankans.
National organizer of United National Party Sagala Ratnayaka says those who criticize the government failed to provide any alternatives to uplift the country. The attempts of those who oppose is to destabilize the government's program. He has made these remarks addressing the Muratua electorate meeting of the UNP, which was organized by the co-organizers of Muratua electorate Ravinath Gunasekara and Arurasiri De Silva. National organizer of the UNP Sagala Ratnayaka said that when Ranil Wickremesinghe assumed leadership, many thought that another struggle would crop up and toppling the government would become possible. He added that, however, nobody had the strength to do so. Sagala Ratnayaka further said the opposition, which is accusing the government, do not have a program to resolve the problems in the country. Now, K.D. Lal Kantha of the National People's Power says the class struggle could not be defeated by anybody, despite the fact that struggles of the political parties are being undetermined.
He further says that the existing administration should be changed by all oppressed people joining an alliance. Lal Kantha made these remarks at the Kalutara District Conference organized by the National Trade Union Centre yesterday. The event has been organized based on several slogans, including opposition to the sale of national resources. Lal Kantha said that they have to go to the street. Political parties have commenced their own struggles. He added that it is not necessary to carry slogans, batons and also setting fires to houses. Lal Kantha further said that there are saboteurs within the struggles themselves. Now, President of the Communist Party of Sri Lanka, D. Gunasekara, says the Hartal of 53 was a struggle which paved the way for forward march of the country.
He further points out that many of the privileges in the working class at present have been an outcome of this agitation. D. Gunasekara was addressing a meeting to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the 53 Hartal at the Lanka Samasamaj Party headquarters today. President of the Communist Party of Sri Lanka, D. Gunasekara, said that there are only 2 real people's struggles recorded in Sri Lanka's history. He said one was the 1947 general strike and 1953 Hartal. The word Hartal became a common term in Sri Lanka following the 1953 movement. He said D. Gunasekara pointed out that the new generation is not properly aware about those people's movements. However, most of the benefits currently enjoyed by the working class are the result of those struggles. We'll be back with more news from home after this break.
யூத் என்பது தமது growth பற்றி சிந்திக்கும், தமது wealth பற்றி பிளான் செய்யும், தமது health பற்றி கேர் செய்யும், தமது strength பற்றி அறிந்திடும், தம் பாத்தினை தீர்மானிக்கும் சிறந்ததோர் காலம். நாட்டின் north முதல் south வரை யூத் அனைவருமே ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் ஆகும் அளவிற்கே எதிர்காலம் சிறப்பாகும். டிஜிட்டல் எதிர்காலத்துக்கு செல்லும் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் யூத்திற்கு பலம் சேர்த்திட மக்கள் வங்கியின் எஸ் டிஜிட்டல் சேமிப்பு கணக்கிற்கு எஸ் சொல்லுங்கள்.
Welcome back. We continue with more news from home. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene has presided over an employer-employee discussion at the Temple Trees yesterday.
The meeting has dealt in depth on trade union action and institutional. Attention has also been focused on proposed service-oriented draft bill. The trade union representatives on this occasion have presented many facts pertaining to the presentation of a clear draft bill based on precise revisions. Commissioner General of Labour and representatives of the Lanka Service Employees Union and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka have attended this event.
Now, today is the 18th death anniversary of renowned Sri Lankan Foreign Minister and intellectual Lakshman Kadiragama. He was killed by LTTE terrorists on the 12th of August in 2005. Kadiragama, born in Manipal, Jaffna in 1932, had his preliminary education at the Trinity College, Kandy. Thereafter, he received a first-class degree from the Colombo Law College and later on graduated from the Oxford University of Great Britain. He was engaged in law practice both in Sri Lanka and Britain and also functioned as a high-ranking official of the United Nations institutions. He was appointed as the National List MP of the People's Alliance government in 1994. President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga had appointed him as the Foreign Minister. Lakshman Kadiragama had rendered an invaluable service to elevate Sri Lanka to the international level. He has successfully faced the challenge to change the tarnished image of the country created in the Western world.
And I can perfectly straightforwardly say that there is no sign whatsoever that the LTT is prepared to start talking now. It might well, but our position is quite different. What we are saying is, you can come for talks tomorrow, but no ceasefires, no withdrawal of troops.
He was an excellent debater and fearlessly came forward to dismantle the false accusations of the Tiger organization against Sri Lanka in international media. As an outcome of these efforts, the United States and the Great Britain have banned the LTTE as a terrorist group in the years 1997 and 2001, respectively. This decision caused an irreparable damage to the funds and operations of the Tiger movements. Lakshman Kadiragama was killed in his home by a secret operation conducted by terrorists exactly 18 years ago. He was felicitated with Sri Lanka's highest honorary title, Sri Lanka Bhimanya.
Now, a program to enlighten Gram Niladaris of the Abagamu Divisional Secretariat Division to minimize tiger-human conflicts was conducted at the Horton Plains National Wildlife Sanctuary premises yesterday. It is a common incident of tigers being killed after getting caught in traps laid in tea plantations. Many persons engaged in tea plantation work were reported to have been injured by tiger attacks. 9 deaths of tigers caused by humans have been reported during this year. Out of this, 5 have been reported from Kataragama, Udawalawa, Madruya and Thambarava. The residents have been informed that they should contact Gram Niladaris, wildlife officials and police officials when they come across tigers entangled in wire traps. The tea plantation community and the plantation community management are also to be enlightened on measures to minimize clashes between tigers and humans.
The Paradise Lake in Ratnapura has come under clutches of unauthorized mine racketeers. The people accuse relevant authorities for not taking measures to halt the unlawful gem mining. The Paradise Lake, built during the English period, is being used by the Water Supply and Drainage Board for water supply. Our reporters say that certain groups were engaged in illegal gemming at night time by fixing iron bars and wooden poles on the lake. A group of the Gem and Jewellery Authority have taken measures to remove the illegal fittings after receiving complaints from the residents in this regard. People in the area point out that it is the responsibility of all relevant parties to safeguard the Paradise Lake, which is a source of drinking water supply in the area.
Here are more news items in brief. The oxygen production unit of the Avisavela District Hospital, constructed with the financial assistance of the UNICEF, was declared open today. The unit has the capacity to manufacture 50 cylinders at a capacity of 50 litres of oxygen each day. A mobile phone photo has recorded the clash between 2 wild elephants in the Jalagalum Nimnaya National Park in Manampitiya. Later on, the wildlife officials chased away the elephants to the forest. Residents of Mahavar say an elephant with a serious foot injury is roaming the area. They further say repeated complaints to the wildlife department officials regarding harassments caused on the injured animal have been unheeded. An identified person came in a motorcycle, shot at a person serving at the car park in Pitipana, Nigambo. The injured person, a 25-year-old resident of Nigambo, An identified person came in a motorcycle, shot at a person serving at the car park in Pitipana, Negombo. The injured person, a 25-year-old resident of Negombo, had succumbed to the injuries after admission to the Negombo hospital. 100 scholarships have been presented to students selected for the first year of studies at the University of Colombo. The chief guest on this occasion was Vice-Chancellor of the University, Senior Professor H.D. Karunaratne. A workshop to strengthen media clubs in schools in the Giriulla education zone was held at the Mayurapada Central College in Narammala yesterday. 200 students representing media societies in 40 schools in the Giriulla education circuit took part in the event.
Now, Bogala Graphite Mine has been renamed as the Malalasekara Mine in the honour of late Vijayapala Malalasekara, who acted as the chairman of the institute for nearly 23 years. The mine has a history of 150 years and was responsible for earning substantial foreign exchange to the country by exporting graphite. The renaming has taken place on the 78th birth anniversary of the late chairman. A canteen which could accommodate 15 persons to have meals constructed in a mine 175 meters under the earth was declared open on this occasion. Family members of late Malalasekara and present management of the mine have also attended the event.
Well-known author and newspaper editor Anula De Silva passed away at the age of 82 yesterday. Mrs. De Silva was born in Pulwata, Ambalangoda on the 27th of January 1941. Her first novel, Unmattakeo, was published in 1964. She has compiled 125 literary works, including novels, translations and children's books. She has also in the activities of the National Youth Services Council and acted as presenter of radio programs as well. The remains lie at a private funeral parlour in Boralla, and final rites are scheduled to take place at the Boralla General Cemetery on the 14th. Senior journalist and author Soma T. Pereira has passed away yesterday. She was 77 years old at the time of her demise. Pereira entered the literary profession in the 1960s, writing novels and special articles for newspapers. She has also contributed articles for women's and youth newspapers as well. And that's from local news. Stay tuned for foreign news coming up next.
Prima Kutumi, Santamai.
Welcome back on Foreign News. 80 people have now been confirmed to have been killed by wildfires on the Hawaiian island of Maui. There are fears the numbers will rise further as hundreds are still unaccounted for.
Firefighters have been trying to contain fires in several areas, including the historic town of Lahaina, which has been utterly devastated. Hawaii's Attorney General has announced a comprehensive review into how the authorities responded to the wildfires. It comes as questions mount over whether officials warned residents fast enough. State officials reopened the city to people with proof of residency yesterday for the first time since flames swept rapidly through earlier this week, raising much of the coastal town, which has a rich history and attracts some 2 million tourists a year.
Now, 7 people were killed when part of a mosque filled with hundreds of worshippers collapsed in Nigeria's northern city of Zaria in Kaduna State, with several others injured.
The incident occurred as hundreds of faithful observed afternoon prayers on Friday at the city's central mosque. Rescuers said that 4 bodies were found initially, and then 3 others were found after the rescue team searched the collapsed mosque. State officials said that the mosque was constructed in the 1830s. 23 people were sent to hospital. The State Emergency Management Agency said Kaduna State Governor Ubasani ordered an immediate investigation into the disaster and promised to assist those affected by the heartbreaking incident.
Prima Kutumi, Pantamai.
The Dambula team beat Gaul Titans team to record a victory in the 14th match of the Lanka Premier League cricket tournament at the R. Premadasa Stadium yesterday.
The Titans team has scored 133 runs with a loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. Dasun Shanaka, playing a captain's innings by becoming the highest scorer, collected 36 runs facing 26 deliveries. Dushan Hemanta has achieved some success in bowling, capturing 2 wickets. Dambula Ora team fulfilled the victory target of 134 runs in just 17 overs. Avishka Fernando's excellent batting has contributed 70 unbeaten runs, which included 3 boundaries and 3 sixes. With this victory, the Dambula team was able to come to the top in the Lanka Premier League points table. Avishka Fernando was adjudged the man of the match. St. Peter's College Bambalapitiya beat St. Anthony's College Kandy by 36-0 in an inter-school rugby tournament match played at the Peterite grounds. At the end of the first half, St. Peter's was leading 29-0. Mahinda Rajapaksa Championship Cricket Tournament was held at the Nuwara Municipal Council grounds today. 2 matches were conducted between the State Minister's team and the Parliamentarians team. The Parliamentarians team won both matches.
Prima Kutumi, Pantamai.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on ChannelEye.